So I'm walking along, and I'm listening to a book, an audiobook, about the 10 techniques of NLP and how to kind of drill into your subconscious so that we understand our autopilot thoughts and reactions so that we can insert that pause that I wrote about before. The pause for the cause. If we don't pause, then we will think, feel, and act the way that we have always thought, felt, and acted. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes our defaults work. But sometimes our defaults make us extremely frustrated with ourselves. So it's not all doom and gloom. Change should only really happen when we really authentically want it to happen. If you're happy with the way things are, oh gosh, all I can really feel is jealousy. I'm just not wired that way for whatever reason. So here's why I go down rabbit holes. I'm listening to this audiobook, and I want to soak up what it's saying. I want to take it in. But my own thoughts and ideas are just really loud. They're really loud. They're so loud that I'm aware that the audiobook is playing. But I couldn't possibly say what it was actually talking about. So I end up having to listen to it again. So it's common that we often, redundant, anyway, we do this to each other. I'm pretending to listen to a friend when really I'm going over my shopping list in my head or thinking about the people I need to call, the appointments I need to schedule, or the work I need to get done, the food I want to eat, etc. Where I'd rather be than talking to this person. Or even worse, it could be someone that we really love and really want to give that time to. But our thoughts, for whatever reason, just are so loud and demand that attention, or our feeling, some way that we are feeling is so loud that we can't kind of see past it. We feel really upset or depressed about something. So even though someone's telling us a funny story, we can't see the humor in it. And it's a willful not seeing the humor in it, because this emotion is screaming at us and we can't hear anything else. We don't want to feel any other emotion. We're choosing to stay in that loud emotion. This could happen in the reverse as well. We could choose to feel happy and, think something's funny. Cling to that emotion. And someone tells us something depressing. So we're either able to kind of laugh it off. But that sometimes can be socially inappropriate. So I found that out when my sisters and I were playing on the day that my grandmother died. And my father got really, really, really upset with us and basically shamed us for feeling happy on the day that my grandmother had died. And yeah, that stuck with me for life up until now. Up until I became aware of some of those conditioned triggers and where they came from. Oh, It's sad, solemn time for someone else, so I have to feel the way that they feel. I call that holding someone emotionally hostage. If we don't have to feel the way that everybody else feels. But anyway, I'm going down that rabbit hole, and I actually wanted to let's back up, back it up, take a few steps back it up, and just think loudness. Sometimes our thoughts and emotions are really loud, and they block out, the environment that we're in, the people that we're with, time. We had 5 minutes, but we got so lost in our thoughts. Now we only have 4, and we don't know where the time went. But other times, those voices, those thoughts, those feelings are really quiet. They're so quiet that we have no fucking clue where they're coming from. We do subconscious things. We're on autopilot. And we don't even know why. We don't know why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. We don't know why we're thinking the way that we're thinking. This is when it's quiet. And my hypothesis is this. The human world, which I have come to call a stress factory, is all go, 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 go. Do. Wake up, feed the kids, get them to school, work, come home, make dinner, do the laundry, maybe grant yourself 5 minutes of TV time, go to sleep, have a shitty sleep because you're thinking about all the things you didn't do or all the things you have to do, repeat. That's what it looks like for some people. For other people, it's get up, realize I'm in this bed by myself, think, oh my God, I'm going to be single my entire life, go to work, feel completely unmotivated and unfulfilled in what I'm doing, come home, sit on my couch with my cat, looking out my window, and just wanting to cry. Go to bed, may or may not sleep, rinse and repeat. Boredom. Humans hate boredom. We find it extremely difficult to just sit. We're actually afraid of what those tiny voices of the thoughts and feelings that we normally can't hear will say if we stop long enough to hear them or change the volume. And this is why most people fear meditation. Because meditation is nothing but breathing and observing the thoughts and emotions that come up. The key to meditation, why it takes practice, is to learn how to not judge those things. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to know. We don't want to know these things about ourselves. We're actually afraid of knowing. So this is the volume dial. Sometimes it's blasting to the point of distracting us from our actual lives. And instead we're stuck in our heads overanalyzing. And at the other extreme, we keep ourselves doing on purpose. Because we don't want to know what those thoughts and emotions are that are driving us. If we keep doing and we keep those loud thoughts going with the here and, with what's going on, or the past or the future, if we distract ourselves with those loud voices, then the tiny voices can't tell us what we really know about ourselves deep down in our gut. And we fear those voices. We fear boredom. But if we're not bored, if we never allow ourselves to be bored, then how can we learn to be creative? Or how can we reach that full potential of being creative? And if we don't sit in meditation and watch those thoughts and emotions go by and learn how to turn the volume up or down, what turns the volume dial? When it's loud, how can we turn it down to get quiet? And when it's really quiet, but we think there's something important there, how do we turn it up so we can hear it a little louder so that we can start to work with it? It is so common for humans to have negative underlying thoughts. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, they don't really like me. Oh, I'm hungry, but maybe I shouldn't eat. Oh, I'd really love to go to the gym, but this person needs me and I need to do this and I never get any time for myself. I've got to do these things for other people so that they'll love me or appreciate me. Or, oh, I shouldn't act that way. That's embarrassing. Oh, I'm really angry, but I just don't know why. Or we find ourselves doing a behavior that we've never really liked. But the voice that drives that behavior is so quiet that we don't understand it. So we just keep doing. Again, we're unaware of it. This is why I get up on my soapbox and talk about awareness. Because if we don't learn to sit in meditation or prayer or fucking call it whatever you want, sit and stare at your ceiling, I don't give a shit. But things actually happen in our brain when we sit with ourselves and just listen. And you find out some shocking shit about yourself. But if you don't know yourself, then how can you love yourself? And if we don't love ourselves, then how can we accept ourselves? Because look, after many years of poking my brain with sharp, pointy sticks and turning up the volume on those quiet voices, I can tell you, one, I don't have it all fucking figured out. I've barely hit the tip of the iceberg. I've barely fallen down the rabbit hole. And this is, 8 years of this stuff. And two, there's some things that I don't love about myself. There's some habits I have that I see kind of undermine other facets of my life. But I'm not willing to change them right now. But that comes with the double-edged sword of if I do want my life to change, then I do have to shift those habits. But if I don't understand what's driving those habits, I can never shift them. And sometimes, just sometimes, we have to add a little bit of woo and add in a third voice. And yeah, we're going to go down the spiritual route for just a second. Hold tight. Try not to get too uncomfortable with it. But sometimes we have to just surrender. I said that phrase, we have to just. I know, it's a naughty no-no. But surrendering to a higher power, I don't care what you call it. I don't care what I call it. I don't care what anybody calls it. And just saying, I don't know how to be different, but I want to be different. And just be open to change. And And I know that it sounds really hard to believe because we're always stuck in our heads and we want logical things that we can wrap our heads around. But if we're just open to it, we'll see things differently. And we might see an opportunity to do something different. Join a group that aligns with the habit you want to create. Start something new. Start writing a blog. Start journaling. Start meditating. Stop meditating. I did that for years so that I could focus on the stuff I learned during the first round of meditation and get to know myself better. It all gets into the interrelationship stuff. But what's that volume like on those thoughts and emotions? When are they loud? And when are they quiet? But quiet in a way that does not serve us. That inner, well, you didn't work an 8-hour day, so you don't deserve to be happy today. How loud is that voice? Or, you walked for half an hour. Go ahead and eat. Yeah, go ahead and eat that piece of cheesecake. That's fine. Is that the same voice that's screaming at you, saying that you're a piece of shit for eating a piece of cheesecake the day after? This is why it's a rabbit hole. This is why it's so confusing. Those voices often don't align. The quiet voice is the little devil voice, if you think of the devil and the angel. The angel says, do things that make you happy. Do things that make you love yourself. And the little voice is very quiet, says, sabotage. Sabotage and cause shit. Set yourself up. Because we don't know how to feel any other way. This is how we felt our whole life. And even though it makes me miserable, I'm going to do it anyway because it's familiar. And this is why people don't change. Because even when we're not happy with the familiar, we will keep ourselves doing those things that make us unhappy to keep us in that space. If we don't play with the volume dials of those different voices, then we'll never know. I suggest only turning one knob at a time, though, because it can get quite intense. I would never suggest anybody do what I do, which is fuck with them all at once. Just to see how confused I can make myself. Be kinder to yourself and trust me, I'm listening. I'm listening to what I'm saying. And I'm thinking, oh yep. I listen back to this stuff and I'm like, oh God. Would you listen to that? But I do it. Well, just to give everybody a good example. I'm going to go and sit in a park and stare at a tree and play with my own volume dials. Practice what I preach. And a good day to you.